Welcome to our guide on installing Docker. Docker is a powerful platform that allows you to automate the deployment of applications inside lightweight, portable containers. Today, we'll walk you through the installation process on different operating systems. Let's start with Windows OS and Mac OS. There are a few things you need to check. First, ensure that your system meets the requirements. If it does, the recommended tool for Windows or Mac OS is Docker Desktop. If your system doesn't meet the requirements, no worries. You can still get Docker up and running using an alternative tool called Docker Toolbox. However, we strongly recommend Docker Desktop for its seamless integration with Windows and Mac OS. Now, for our Linux users, the process is a bit different. Linux natively supports the Docker engine, so there's no need for Docker Toolbox or Docker Desktop. You can directly install the Docker engine on Linux. Since Linux inherently supports containers and the technology Docker uses, installation is straightforward. Whether you're on macOS, Windows, or Linux, Docker has a solution for you. In this session, we'll walk you through the process of installing Docker on Windows. Now, before we dive into the installation process, let's discuss the two options available. I'll be selecting the Hyper-V backend and Windows containers for this demonstration. First things, let's talk about the system requirements. To install Docker Desktop, you'll need either Windows 11 or 10, 64-bit Pro Enterprise or Education version. If you're on an older version, like Windows 8 or 7, don't worry. You can still use Docker with the Docker Toolbox. Check the link above for detailed instructions on installing Docker tools on older operating systems. In my case, I'm running Windows 10 Pro, and I won't be using the Docker Toolbox. If you're in a similar situation, follow along. The first step is to ensure that Hyper-V and containers features are enabled. Open your search bar and look for Windows 10 Enable Hyper-V. For detailed instructions, I recommend following the approach described on the official Microsoft web pages. Once you're ready, open PowerShell as an administrator. Copy and paste the command displayed on the screen. This command will enable the functionality Docker Desktop needs to run containers on your system. If prompted to reboot, simply type Y for yes. Next, run the Enable Containers command in PowerShell, and remember to reboot your operating system afterward. These two steps are crucial to Docker's functionality on your Windows machine. If you're using Windows 10 Home, there's a separate set of steps you need to follow. Check the link above for a detailed guide on installing Docker Desktop on Windows 10 Home. Now that we've prepared our system by enabling the necessary features, let's move on to the next step: installing Docker Desktop. Head over to docker.com and click on Docker Desktop for Windows to download the installer. Click on the Docker Desktop on Windows and download the Docker Desktop installer. Once the installer is downloaded, simply double-click on the executable file to start the installation process. During this process, you may be prompted to enable WSL2 Windows features. Make sure to check this option. If not available, proceed without it. If prompted to enable Hyper-V, check that option as well. The installation process may take a while, so be patient as it progresses. Once completed, you might be prompted to restart your system. If that's the case, go ahead and restart. After your system restarts, Docker might start up automatically. If not, you can manually execute Docker Desktop. Look for the icon in your system tray. That's the sign that Docker is up and running. Wait until Docker has started. Accept the service agreement. I will select the recommended settings on the installation complete page and click Finish. Now you'll be greeted with a prompt or a screen similar to the one shown here. I will continue without the sign-in option. Select the requested information and click Continue. Now, you need to wait until the Docker engine starts. This indicates that Docker is active and ready to go. To ensure Docker is running, always look for the whale icon in your system tray. Now you can run the Docker command in the command prompt and verify that Docker is running. Thank you for joining us in this installation guide. Stay tuned for more exciting tutorials. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content. See you in the next video.